everybody, and welcome back to the Blossom Review. How are you? Today we are reviewing Netflix's delightful Romantics Anonymous, which came out last Thursday. So I unexpectedly fell head over heels in love with this story, and today I wanted to share with you a little bit of the reason why I loved this story so wholeheartedly like I did. And of course, I want to hear from you as well if you enjoyed it as well. So this review contains very mild spoilers. So I don't think it will be a problem even if you haven't watched the show. But if you don't want any spoilers whatsoever, then feel free to skip to the last chapter of this video, okay? So is everybody ready? Let's start. If you haven't watched the show yet, the story follows Hana, played by Hyo-joo, a talented chocolatier who works for Le Sauvé, a superb Japanese chocolate shop. She works there as an anonymous chocolatier due to her scopophobia, which is an extreme fear of eye contact, of being looked at. Meanwhile, Fujiwara Sosuke, played by Oguri Shun, is the heir to a major confectionery company who suffers from contamination OCD, that is, he has an extreme fear of germs and can't bear to be touched. Fate brings Hana and Sosuke together when Sosuke is named the new head of Le Sauvé. And to their utmost surprise, Hana realizes that she doesn't really mind looking Sosuke in the eyes, while Sosuke realizes that he doesn't really mind touching Hana. So while they navigate this new relationship and they face challenges at work, we are also introduced to the counselor Irene, played by Nakamura Yuri, and jazz bar owner Hiro, played by Akanishi Jin, Sosuke's best friend and Hana's longtime crush. Romantics Anonymous is an enchanting, humane and absolutely irresistible rom-com that takes full advantage of the formulaic framework of its genre to deliver a contemporary tale about acceptance and kindness. Counting on an empathetic narrative, charming characters, and stunning visual identity, this is a series that blends the allure of the traditional romantic comedy with more complex and modern themes. Gimen Okada's tight script follows the structure of all its predecessors to a T. So the story focuses on the relationship between two people who experience challenges, some of them comedic, that ultimately lead them to a romantic resolution. The series also ticks all the classic rom-com boxes. So there is a meet cute, witty dialogue galore. The setup is all done through a series of misunderstandings, and of course the show counts on a very positive outcome as well. However, Romantics Anonymous replaces the superficiality of romance as an ultimate goal with a journey of self-acceptance and personal growth and the establishment of kind-hearted communities. So this is not a story about a couple or about two couples. This is a story about a community. It's not just about them, the two of them, but about all the people that surround them. The story allows its characters to be flawed and diverse and vulnerable. And I think it's very important to mention that Romantics Anonymous doesn't portray romance as a perfect match, but as a bond of care and comfort in which you are free to be yourself without judgment. Romantics Anonymous skillfully navigates the pitfalls of its genre, masterfully avoiding love triangles, promptly resolving its conflicts, and granting its characters full autonomy. While some of its events might be seen as trite, as cliché, it's important to notice that they are always handled with maturity, sincerity, and compassion. Characters have clear motivations, and the obstacles they face don't necessarily hinder their ability to engage in a romantic relationship, but rather stop them from becoming the individuals they aim to be. The individual self is given a lot of attention in Romantics Anonymous through a story that portrays mental health disorders and traumas with respect and sensitivity. Romances aren't forced between characters, and instead, characters are encouraged to embark on journeys of self-discovery first. Therapy and counseling are seen as natural elements of this process, even when the characters themselves don't feel particularly comfortable with the idea at first. This focus on the characters' individual journeys means that being love in Romantics Anonymous isn't a requirement or a need or a lifeline. Being love is a choice, a serendipitous result of a series of personal decisions. So despite its very idealistic tone, Romantics Anonymous allows love to blossom and evolve naturally with all its quirks and trials. So bit by bit, Hana and Sosuke grow closer through daily interactions that allow them to get to know each other better. From the outset, they acknowledge their struggles and they decide to tackle them together. Within the little bubble of their relationship, of their romance, you see that they aren't scared of being themselves in front of the other person, which leads to a relationship based on sincere care, appreciation, and consideration for the other person. Being yourself, then, might be the show's greatest theme. And it doesn't only pop up in the show's romantic storylines, but it's consistently portrayed in the show's events, in the characters' dynamics, and their development arcs as well. So the narrative is sustained by a chain of acceptance, kindness, and responsibility that started with Chef Kenji, played by Okuda Eiji, but that outlives him. So you see that this chain is introduced to us in the show's very first episode, but then the script carefully forges each and every link of this chain throughout the following 6 episodes. Every choice these characters make and every encounter they have inevitably lead to the series finale. Everything is somehow connected. No moment is wasted, no interaction is forgotten. Romantics Anonymous then ties it all up in episode 8, allowing its resolution to not only reinforce its theme, the show's theme, but also clearly demonstrate the characters' journeys, whether professional, personal, or romantic. Guys, you can totally see the sun coming and going outside, can't you? Anyway, to make it all work, Romantics Anonymous eliminates extremes. So there is no ultimate battle between good and bad. There are no real evil antagonists in the story. Political intrigue makes for a very, very minor subplot. And the show, of course, also counts on very humane protagonists. I think it's also important to mention that the character's background is never exploited for emotional impact, only serving to contextualize the narrative. Most importantly, each episode of Romantics Anonymous uses one chocolate from Le Sauver's flagship product, the Rainbow Palette, as a foundation for its narrative. Chocolate is a vital element in Hana and Sosuke's story, not just because it's nice and sweet and cute and it's Hana's job. No, chocolate is a symbol of their ability to connect with others despite their mental health disorders. Just like our characters, each and every chocolate from the rainbow palette has its own personality. Some of them might need a bit of a tweak, but they all spread joy. They are all appreciated for what they are, reflecting the hard work of the chocolatier, the love of the giver, and the happiness of the receiver. So chocolate works as a bridge between people, and it's a very clear motive throughout the entire show, but such a well-rounded script wouldn't just stop there. So through the relationships between the Les Sauveurs, employees, suppliers, their suppliers, and clients, we are introduced to a bunch of diverse characters who understand that we all face our own inner demons and struggles and fears. We might feel the need to wear a mask in order to fit in, but these characters encourage one another to push this mask aside, to embrace diversity, champion equity, and create truly inclusive communities. Now here, the relationships within Les Sauveurs deserve a very, very special mention. There is nothing more heartwarming than seeing how the kitchen and the floor staff at the shop respect and support each other. It's just amazing to witness them working together, because besides their unwavering work ethic, their dynamics are all about collaborative effort and the intense spirit of perseverance and growth. Now, for me, what makes Romantics Anonymous truly special is the fact that the show doesn't magically heal Hana and Sosuke in its last episode, but instead the show offers them the freedom of being loved for who they are. After all, there is, no one is perfect. There is no such thing as normal. Romantics Anonymous reminds us that despite what the world labels as weaknesses, we can still be loved and accepted for who we are. We can still find ways to connect with others, to do the work that makes us happy. It's okay to acknowledge that we struggle, because we can help each other take steps forward. It's okay to be different, because we are all somehow unique. Besides a cleverly written script, Romantics Anonymous also counts on beautiful and meaningful cinematography, on stunning and thorough production design, and on a very, very quirky score. We also have to mention the careful work of such an exceptional cast led by Oguri Shun and Hyo-joo, who deliver heartfelt performances and mesmerizing chemistry throughout. Akanishi Jin and Nakamura Yuri also work extremely well together, balancing the story with a good dose of bittersweet longing and tangled emotions. So the final question is, should you watch Romantics Anonymous? I really can't remember the last time I watched such a flawless rom-com. I think that while Romantics Anonymous embraces romance without shame, it never forgets that love starts with the individual. So this is a story that gives its characters courage to change, empathy to offer others and themselves acceptance, and independence to pursue their own goals. Full of personality, allure, and tenderness, Sosuke and Hana's story goes beyond the traditional conventions of its genre to deliver a narrative as unique as its characters. Artfully crafted and charismatically delivered, Romantics Anonymous proves that even the simplest of stories, when created with heart and thoughtfulness, can be remarkable. Romantics Anonymous is available on Netflix. Quick reminder that this review is also available on the Blossom Review, and over on Substack this week we reviewed JTBC's 100 Memories, which came to a close last Sunday. So I'll leave all the links in the description if you guys want to give them a read. Guys, thank you so very much for being here. I really hope that you like this video and you subscribe so I can see you here every week for a new review. Take very good care of yourself, and I'll see you very, very soon. Big kiss. Thank you. Bye.